been chosen.
Whoa! Whoa! I think we are dead.
Let's go! Let's go down!
So, I saw this headline on the Drudge Report. It's an article by OrlandoSentinel.com. It's sufficiently shocking and decided to go ahead and do a video on it. In shift, Florida Keys now requiring face mask until June 2021. Visitors to the Florida Keys will need to bring along face masks or face a $500 civil fine. In a Wednesday vote, the Monroe County Commission shifted from an earlier stance on face coverings and now requires everyone, including employees and customers, to wear face coverings in any establishment. The city of Key West already has this stricter ruling in place, but unincorporated parts of the Keys have relaxed some requirements, following the guidelines set forth by Governor Ron DeSantis' statewide Phase 2 of his reopening plan set to begin June 5th. The ordinance also allows other city governments in the Keys to opt out of the ordinance. Now, though, facial coverings are mandatory and will be until June 1st, 2021, although Commission will revisit the restriction on a quarterly basis. Facial coverings over the nose and mouth must be worn in business establishments and other public settings where there is a roof overhead, said the county spokesperson Christine Livengood in a press release. Of note, children 6 and younger are not required to wear a mask. So, this article is like a warning of what's coming. Now many locations are becoming even stricter on the idea of wearing facial covering to prevent transmission of a virus. The really frustrating aspect of this whole thing is I do not believe sufficient discussion is occurring in the media with regards to which coverings are most effective to prevent transmission. This article goes on to mention that coverings can be face masks, homemade masks, other cloth, silk, or linen coverings like scarves, bandanas, or handkerchiefs. So, my listener, I'm not going to commit a logical fallacy of intellectual appeal, or I think it's called bandwagon, and basically suggest that, intelligent people can see what's wrong with this. But I'm just going to ask you, regardless of your intelligence, can you see what is wrong with the statement I just read to you? Here is a picture of Alyssa Milano wearing a homemade mask. Notice the little holes in this mask. Do you think this mask is sufficient to prevent the transmission of a virus? Now, for a person such as myself, who loves when things are logical and that follow an orderly direction, when I read things about all the various facial coverings which will qualify, cloth, silk, linen coverings, scarves, bandanas, handkerchiefs, my logical mind is just going, okay, so even the minimal covering is effective for preventing the transmission of the virus, which means that if I just go along, I will be doing my part as an American to finally end this plague that is affecting us severely. Yes, America, doing what's right, taking personal responsibility. Obviously, I'm not falling for this, and it's really angering. It fills me with rage. One of these coverings is obviously not like the other. When I see the title 2021, in my mind that translates to indefinite. That means this is going to be going on and on for however long it takes to get America to completely submit. I'm especially pressured under this cognitive dissonance because I have filled my mind with so many alternative facts in an attempt to understand the whole Verona Cirrus situation. And that's a YouTube vernacular for CV, an abbreviation for, there are so many articles, so many videos which show that statistics surrounding the virus issue is cooked to the max. Just yesterday, the governor of California, Gavin Newsom, just made a mandatory requirement that all Californians wear a mask when they're going outdoors. Those who violate the order will receive a fine. Jordan Sather points out that this new requirement's in a context of Newsom getting a $1 billion contract for masks with a Chinese manufacturer recently approved. Besides attempting to vote these people out, there's really nothing else for the body politic to do to this type of corruption. Basically, the interpretation of these actions as tarnishing of civil liberties becomes complicated because many people believe that masks are necessary to protect against the spread. So naturally, that would affect the results of any type of election outcome to roll back these abrogations on liberty. If I were to project into the future, it looks like at this point, the battle for liberty has already been lost. We are in the new normal. The new normal will go out indefinitely. Society will continue to evolve towards Agenda 2020 and Agenda 2030 goals. Given the complete allowance of any type of scandal on the D side due to perfectly supplicating mainstream media, a system of leverage has been created to perfectly control what the majority of people will come to learn. Because the majority of people, the normies, they won't go out of their way to find truth in places that are beyond the telescreen. They're not going to spend more than 2 brain cells to contemplate what a person who happens to die with Verona Cirrus has died from Verona Cirrus. They're not going to contemplate exactly what that means. They're not going to look into claims that the death tallies in some locations, specifically nursing homes, were fudged up tenfold. The numerous whistleblowers and nursing dance skits and documentaries, they won't be sought out. 10% of the people will seek out these things, but 10% is not enough. At this point, only a specific Q-esque deus ex machina type of situation where the military somehow comes to save the country, I'm talking about the US, that is, only in that particular circumstance do I see us actually getting out of this. The patriots, we don't tend to rally in the way of the BLM protesters. I will keep doing whatever I'm doing to help spread the word and to awaken the few people who could be awakened. But I realize it's an effort and futility and that we're basically done. Sorry for such a negative message, but it's just a projection. This is a projection I would like to be incorrect. But as the statistics and the data continue to compile, it's starting to look like a very probable future. Bye.